in that as the game goes on with any of the cards in your hand. These are the 3 cards in your hand, but keep them for secret for now. All right. So how do we want to do this? Who's the best person? The host, of course. You Stephen Case.
Who's the best person?
Malcolm in the middle, Jay in the corner. Thanks to all the backers. And scene. 2-minute live stream. Bye. Haters gonna hate. Yay.
Hey, I'm prepped. I'm locked and loaded. Hello, everyone. Yeah, like Steven said, my name's Daniel. I make a game called Trust No Bunny, and I talk in English and Japanese on a podcast. And I played this game with a couple people almost a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. Was a lot of fun. I don't remember any of the rules, but I remember it was a good time. So I'm here to have some more of those good times.
You talk English and Japanese at the same time?
At the same time, every other word.
It's like doing like that throat singing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Hello. The show we have at Tokyo Comedy Bar last Sunday of every month is called Rolls for Initiative, and all proceeds from the show, all the ticket sales, and half of this drink special we do, that includes getting random shots based on a D20. Half of that goes to Tokyo English Lifeline, which provides like access to mental health care and stuff for folks in Tokyo, and works in suicide prevention. It's a good cause. Also, it's fun to work at that bar. It's a good time.
Yeah, we were there for your show last Halloween, and it was amazing. It was so fun. We also had some added drama because a fire alarm went off in the next door restaurant. We all had to go down. We all had to go downstairs and then come back up.
Yeah, the thing that was like so wild was that like it popped off, and then like the fire alarm was literally saying like "Kaji this." It was there's a fire here.
There's a fire, and
then we were the only place in the building that seemed to react. There's like this Oden spot that's like right by our bar, and everybody in the Oden spot was still eating Oden. They didn't mind what was happening. Yeah, it was all right. No one was on fire. We were okay.
Just got a message from someone watching the stream, by the way, that says "Guy in the blue shirt is muted."
Steven.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Check your OBS output. Or actually be your OBS input.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Nose knows.
Oh bother. The nose knows. Yeah, but rolling the D20 at the bar during that event was so fun because you keep wanting to get like a better roll, you know. It's like you roll a crit fail, you get a glass of water. It's like, oh man. But it's all for charity, so it just works, you know. You gotta keep going for it. Yeah.
Oh, I like that idea. So it's sort of on a scale where 20 is like a desirable drink and then 1 is like an undesirable drink?
Yeah, if you roll a 20 on the die, you'll get 2 shots of tequila.
2 shots of tequila.
Desirable, not desirable. I don't know.
Yeah. If you roll a 1, you'll get a shot of water. Yep. It goes to charity. The money, half of it goes to
Good deal. That's really cool. I like it.
And I think you could even donate a little bit more to like roll at advantage, right? Is that sort of how it works?
Yeah. If you put another 100 yen on there, you can roll with advantage. You can take.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's an awesome idea.
It was a great idea until we kept buying so many rolls that we couldn't even read the number on the dice.
Yes.
In moderation, yeah.
Mistakes were made.
It's good times though.
Yeah, but it was Halloween in Tokyo, near the very famous crossing, which is a nightmare to pass through. But
it gets nuts. It gets nuts. Like all the police are out. Like everyone's trying to like make sure nothing's happening. Yeah, it's very crazy. It's similarly, we did a big like community thing, like open mic around New Year's, and it was the same deal in Shibuya. Shibuya was just nuts, especially around the crossing.
Yeah, and John, you came and checked us out at the Tokyo Game Market as well when we were selling this game in Japanese. What was your sort of impression of that wild place?
Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun to see like all the different projects people had going on. What I liked about playing this game was that like it was just this ongoing thing that I could dip into and contribute, and then go walk around Game Market some more and come back and see how the map changed. And then like take those offers and be like, oh, how about this thing? It was a lot of fun. Yeah. Cool. There was just like this whole emerging history and narrative that happened. It was cool.
Nice. Thanks, John. Thanks, Dan. 2 of the people playing. And in the bottom right hand corner is Jay Underwood, who is the designer of this game and is going to be running the game for us today.
Yes, to the best of my abilities. First time I've read through this rule book. No, just kidding. What is going on here? I guess shall we just jump right in then?
Yes, let's.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start drawing and telling stories. All right. So as I said before, I've dealt you all 3 cards. You should have them in your private chat windows. You can replace those with any events as we go along. But before we do that, we have to begin with the prelude. And the prelude will set us up the basic foundations of our world. So we begin with the old world. This is the center of the map, which Steve has nicely given us a small little play space in the center here. Play space. It sounds so sweet. We have to collectively come up with something that is in the center of the world. So since the ancient times, we all knew that in the center of the world lay the what? What is in the center of our world, guys?
The great tree.
Mango tree.
Great mango tree.
Great mango tree.
All right, let us. So now we can collectively draw a mango tree in the center here.
Oh, cool.
Let's do it.
Collectively.
This won't
are the mangoes ripe?
For now. All right, I'm gonna start with the base. Here we go.
This is where we find out that nobody knows what a mango tree looks like.
Yeah. So I'm drawing an old
tree with a mango on it, aren't you?
All right, I got some foliage for us here.
Yeah. Wait. Google mango tree.
Have you ever seen like a pineapple in the wild?
Yeah, did I?
Like
pineapples?
The plant that supports a pineapple doesn't look like it should be growing something as big as a pineapple on top of it.
This is just prototypical tree.
Yeah, it's tree.
It's just tree.
It's a big old man.
Nice.
Mr. Potato Head.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a potato head tree.
All right. And to continue that, okay. And so in the center of the world was a giant mango tree, and it was what by all. So like it was feared by all. It was treasured by all. It was honored. It was religiously worshipped. What do we think?
I have an idea.
What is it?
So how about like it's expected by all? Like it hasn't been ripe for like generations.
I think maybe muted against.
But it's kind of like a free body problem. Like nobody can predict its like cycle.
I love it.
John, were you saying that he was muted?
Well, it looks like it from my screen.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Oh, don't worry. I'm on actually two.
Oh, there you go.
Things right now. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
I've got a weird setup right here.
Okay, so like the mangoes have been like they know what's coming. It's been promised for like generations. These the great mangoes.
Yeah.
Any day now.
Any day.
Any
day now.
So
all right.
Maybe there are like sort of mango predictors, like kind of like people who try and tell you when the mangoes are going to come, but most of them are charlatans. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you mean there's guys just like with signs out on the roads being like the mangoes are coming.
The mangoes are nigh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw like little curly mustaches on some of the mangoes to imply that they're sort of like a little bit sketchy, you know, or hipsters.
Why do people care about the mangoes?
Oh, good question.
That might be something that we will discover as we play along.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so moving on. Foundation. So in the corner of the realm and now we will establish each of our 4 kingdoms in our respective areas. So I guess Steve, you're in the top left, Dan top right, John bottom left, and me in the bottom right. Okay. If you have an idea, we don't have to go in turn order. Just come up with your idea for a kingdom. In the corner is the kingdom of what? Usually the rules as written state adjective and noun, but you could come up with whatever you'd like. So the kingdom of something.
Yeah, I rolled on some of the tables in the back of the zine today, and I got, people hate this, I got crabs again, Jay. I always seem to get crabs when I play this game. So
hey, this is a family-friendly live stream.
So am I establishing the people or the place first, Jay?
Just the name of the kingdom, and you want to start giving a few flourishes here to like where your capital might be and some of its oldest features. Is there a mountain range? Is there a river?
Yeah, so we're the techno crabs.
Nice.
And I'm just going to start drawing them, and like we augment up our arms with different, we're kind of like Swiss Army crabs. So like each of our, like as we grow older, we put new tools specializing in whatever trade we have. And so like these crabs will end up with like, you know, up to a maximum of 10 different tools on their legs. It gets quite cumbersome.
I just want to say this sounds OP and I think it needs a nerf, but not out.
Okay, nerf me.
Literally on one, you're those crabs that like have the one big claw and the one small claw.
Yeah.
So you've only got one big arm. That's like the Swiss Army claw, and the other one is literally like a Nerf gun.
I'm already nerfed, guys. You kind of already nerfed me. Okay, I'm going to start drawing these little techno crabs. So I'm only allowed a couple of tools. I can't go full Swiss Army crab on you.
It's still early days of your empire. Perhaps we will grow and develop as we go along.
Sweet.
Anybody else have an idea next?
Oh, please continue.
Okay. I'm the skeptical salamanders. It's really boggy up where we are. Basically, you don't want to go in there where it smells really bad.
Like a kindergarten.
We got to stay moist, though. We're like the moistest of the kingdoms, I'd say.
Yeah, you're the moistest of the kingdoms?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the techno crabs dispute that immediately. We're far more moist than you.
Already rivalries. John, what do you got?
In the spirit of like in the spirit of the game, do I like say who the people are, like techno crabs and salamanders, and do I say who the people are?
As you like, yes. Yeah, you're establishing your kingdom and its citizens. Yeah.
All right, cool.
In the bottom left is your sort of part of the world.
Okay. All right. I think mine's just the kingdom of sand cats. It's like this very supremely arid, like desert like area. Stuff doesn't grow. These cat people, they just survive. They don't expect good stuff from the world.
Oh,
So naturally, I think some of them are like have emotional reactions to this idea of a tree that's just going to like give great stuff someday. Some cats are very jaded, and some
do you guys believe that the tree has ever fruited? Are they like kind of tree skeptical, maybe? Or
I like to think that there is like almost like a philosophical split in the community. Like there's this segment of the community that's like, that's just a lie people tell themselves because the world is a horrible place. And then but then there's these other folks that are like, no, like it's just, we just have to wait for it to be. How great would it be? How much think of all the relief it could provide if it were true.
So funny that you made your kingdom the sand cats, because my wife Akiko just recently bought a sand cat doll that we now have in the other room. It's just amazing. Like, it just arrived yesterday. I'm like, what is going on? All right. For me then, and John, while you can now make your attempt at drawing a sand cat in the corner, and maybe its home kingdom.
All right, cool.
I think then I'm going to be humanoid. I think this is going to be like Fraggle Rock. So I'm going to be like what are they called? Like the Gorgons or something like that. So I'm going to be like the giants that live in the frozen wastelands of the southeast here, up in the high mountain tops. And we will be the kingdom of grumpy giants.
Nice.
Sort of like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas or something like that. We look down upon all the crabs and salamanders and sand cats that are all running around. Meanwhile, we have been nurturing this mango tree for millennia, and you guys keep coming in whenever it's ripe and start stealing all the mangoes, and woe differences.
Oh yeah, like the techno crabs are always finding new devices for getting more mangoes than perhaps they should. We're a bit mango greedy.
So the whole bottom right portion of the map is just full of sort of mountains. There are maybe a few paths that we have made that like work their way down to the tree itself. And along that path are several kind of small hamlets of our community. Whoops. Let's do it freehand. We're doing it live. All right.
I love it.
Yeah, there we go. And now we move on to our leadership. So, of course, each great kingdom begins with its founding ruler, some magnanimous, some others kind, others cruel, dictatorial. What is your ruler? Who are they, and who rules your kingdom?
My pen's not working, so I'm having a meltdown over here. Give me a sec.
Okay. I think mine is a technocracy. Is that a word? That sounds like a word.
That sounds right. Yeah.
It feels a very RPG word, doesn't it?
We are not limited to actual words in the world of fantasy.
Yeah. Like so ours is ruled by a sort of small council of engineers. Each you have the most venerated tools attached to their appendages.
So it's Silicon Valley.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's oh dear. Okay, so it's crab jobs is
crab jobs.
Yeah. Elon Krabs. Okay, so crab jobs is my leader.
Crap was.
Well, actually, he's let's keep it horrible. So Crab Jobs has actually passed away, but it's a cult that was of crabs around him that actually controlled the Crab Kingdom now.
Crab Kingdom.
So the Techno Jobs Crab cult. So it's a priest, a crab priest runs my kingdom. I'm going to draw him now.
The twist about my guys is they're actually not skeptical at all. They're the most gullible. Like they just believe in everything, but for some reason they like kind of consider themselves skeptical, but it's really not the case. They are just like die hard. They're gagging for those mangoes and they know what's coming.
Oh, I can see your salamander. I love it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to get the colors work.
This crab. Nice.
I think I've just drawn a bee by mistake. Jay, you sometimes play this game with the no arrays rule. Are we playing that today, or
perhaps we go no arrays, but you can amend people's art, of course.
Okay.
It might be a little bit harder to do this over the digital whiteboard. As well, in the actual game, we would be writing these rulers on separate index cards that can be placed on top of the game board, which then can be moved around. It's a little bit difficult here, so we can just indicate who these characters are. So I've purposely used no color in my kingdom because it's frozen, it's gray, it's bureaucratic. The only bit of color here is the shining gold crown which my leader wears, and the leader's name is the giant Grumpus. There we go. Lord Grumpus.
The Grumpus.
Yeah, Lord Baron Grumperstein.
Nice.
Something like this. Yeah, there we go. Grumpus of the Grumpy Giants.
Sorry, people watching, I'm just readjusting the screen so you can see everything that's been drawn so
far. How about John, Dan? Who are your leaders?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna say the folks that live here really depend on each other. So it's almost like this collectivist idea. They don't want to give power to just one guy. It's done by councils, but also like since there's not a lot of resources, then not everybody can just like be in one place. So there's like these floating groups around all the desert areas.
Nomadic sandcats.
Yeah, I guess nomadic sandcats. Also like there are times when leaders meet, and there is like a council within this collection of councils.
The Council of the Jarl.
That's head council. Is what I'm guessing. And I don't know how many individuals are in this council right now, but collectively, I'm going to call them Biscochito. Yeah, I'm going to call this council just this council that heads the other councils is called Biscochito.
Do not play this game hungry.
Yeah, is someone familiar with the Biscochito?
No, but I just hear biscuits and Cheetos. So
yeah, I was like, is this a food I don't know?
It is. Yeah. A Biscochito is it's a type of regional New Mexican Christmas cookie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Biscochito. I'm looking at it now. Very nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
B-I-Z. I see it's spelled but with an S or a Z here. Interesting.
Yeah.
How about you, Dan? Who's your leader?
Well, sort of the opposite of the cat people. I mean, there's a lot of that going on here. We've only got one guy, really, and everybody else just keeps him moist. It's like rub up on him the whole time.
Jabba the Hutt or something like that.
Yeah, basically that's the whole. They just got. He's been growing bigger and bigger. You can see here, like that's not the normal size for a salamander.
Yeah.
But the moister they keep this guy, he just doesn't die. He's been around, they say, as long as the mango tree itself. We don't know if that's true. It sounds pretty outrageous if you actually like step back and look at it. His name is John Stockton.
Nice. The colors are there.
Yeah.
I like the way you're the giants, Jay, but you're kind of without this mountain for scale, you're smallest.
We're the smallest one. I'm leaving room for expansion here. So from the distance up on the high, from the high peak of Mount Grumpus, we can look down and we can see John Stockton from afar, curled up amongst the swamp of your kingdom, of the moist salamanders. Was it?
They're skeptical. But
skeptical.
Yeah, but that's not actually the case.
I'd imagine players in real time oftentimes will do a lot more of labeling. It's a bit kind of cumbersome here on Zoom, but
oh, sorry. Yeah, let me label my kingdom text. For some reason, my input is just literally not. It'll like once every like 10 times. It'll kind of come through.
Yeah, we had to handicap you, Dan, as the resident drawer here.
Hey!
Yes, yeah. Not to.
Let me see. This might work.
All right.
He's the resident drawer. I'm the resident bureaucrat. Okay. Sorry. All right. Next is growth. So now we have to figure out how our kingdoms would have interacted with each other. What type of trade might they have developed? What type of would they have been allies? So now we've established how they grew independently of one another, and now they would have sort of at one point either clashed somewhere near or around the mango tree or next to each other. So I'm quite furthest away from the techno crab, so I may not have seen you that much, but I definitely bump into the sandy cats and the skeptical salamanders. So what type of trade might we have offered? I think I've got one right off the bat for John and the sand people. I think because we live up in the high icy peaks, we sell you like giant cubes of ice in which to sort of keep your people hydrated and to a source of Coca-Cola or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. If I may also like say something like maybe maybe not a lot of stuff grows, but there not a lot of stuff obviously grows, but there is like game to be hunted out here, and so maybe we offer like animal products to you, like leathers and stuff for like I don't know, armor or keeping you warm or whatever.
There's a bunch of like half naked sand cats that are like shorn from the waist down. Like, hey,
Yeah.
whoa, why are you giving us the bottom half?
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna yes and that idea.
Oh,
and I'm gonna say that there are some sand cats that just are straight up just like naked. They're like naked. Maybe because there are some people in the mountainous giant region that are like, oh, so pretty. That fur is so pretty.
Awesome. So yeah, so I'm drawing here this is a little trade route going back and forth to your city with little ice trucks that are coming one way, and then maybe you could draw some pelts coming the other way, and we got a little trade hub here that moves back and forth, and this is a little market city in the center in which they do all the dealings in the shadow of the giant mango tree.
Cool.
In fact, I'm going to draw on Grumpus a kind of a lovely sandcat pelt that he gained from many moons ago.
Can I come in on this?
Yes.
So obviously, so I just want to get this straight. So the cats are shaving themselves for ice.
Yeah.
This is what's okay.
Don't
Yeah.
go there.
That's what we collectively decided on. Yes.
Yeah, but how are they shaving themselves? I feel like the crabs might be involved.
Yeah, that's it.
They brush up against the. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, you have to report to like shearing. So the crabs don't like to go in the desert because we're the moistest people, no matter what John Stockton says. So we come to the borders of your kingdom. It's like like Christmas Island, like a crab migration. So we all come to the borders of your kingdom like once a yearly cycle, and all the cats join us on the border, and we shave you all.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And that's so it's like a mass. So we sort of meet sort of like the most tolerable place. So it's nice and dry for you, but it's not too dry for us. It's sort of like a halfway point between our kingdoms. There's no actual physical border. It's just like our tolerance runs out at a certain point for being each other's areas.
Yeah. I think I also want to say like I don't know if I'm skipping too many if I'm jumping too far ahead. I think the other thing I want to say is like this introduction of trade to these sandcats means that like there are younger generations of sandcats that are familiar with certain comforts that like that familiar with comforts makes them like want to leave and move elsewhere.
Well, why don't you guys draw on that area on the map where this confluence occurs, where the kind of crabs meet the sandcat people for the yearly shorning festival?
You mean Shave Station Alpha?
Yeah, Shave Station Alpha.
Yeah, that's. So I think it's more like I have one of those. Nomadic, so it's kind of very. It's almost it's like a Burning Man for shaving.
Yeah.
Almost. So maybe there's some kind of central icon.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. John, would you like to draw that?
I'm drawing like a shaver right now.
That's what it is. That's the central structure. The central structure is just like a giant sort of like wooden shaving apparatus.
Yeah.
That mimics all the mini techno crab claws that are really good at shaving.
I'm not great at drawing stuff, especially with a pad. But
yeah.
I'm doing my best.
How about you, Dan? How does your during the growth period when you were interacting with the other cultures? What would the skeptic salamanders have been up to?
So we are actually the greatest export of malaria in the kingdoms. But the good news is we also, because we've been dealing with it for so long, we've also got treatments. And you give us the water. It seems the giants are like feeding us the water for the swamp, and we're kind of giving you back the malarial mosquitoes, which is our bad, and we know it. And so we've also been hooking you guys up with the antidote. The antidote. I don't really know how y'all. I guess that's why the giants are grumpy. That could be one of the reasons.
Well, yeah, these sandcat pelts are like full of fleas, so we're constantly itching. It's like we get these lovely pelts that keep us warm in the winter because it's mighty cold up in these ice hills. But as we get them and we that's the only clothes that we have is sandcat pelts from their hindquarters apparently. So gotcha. all we're doing is just kind of like itching, and so maybe every once in a while a small kind of druidic detachment of skeptic salamanders find their way upstream and give us these kind of like fungi salvos that we salves that we like bombs that we kind of coat on ourselves. So not only are we wearing shaved sandcat cloaks, but we're also covered with this kind of moistened body wash.
Oh, the giants are a sight to see.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just drew a few of those mosquitoes on the map there.
Yeah, I'm just adding sort of like adding the kind of the sort of Burning Man idea is maybe it's kind of also cultural. So like like cat music gets played, crab music gets played.
Yeah,
like it's like Taylor Snip is playing this. Is playing.
I feel like there's cat families like talking to like a rebellious kid, being like, "You are not throwing your life away with that crab," and then they're like, "I'm leaving, Mom and Dad. We make beautiful music together."
There's like a whole kind of American new wave cinema that develops out of the whole process, and like The Freshman is made, where it's like a cab and a crab and a sand cat run away from a wedding.
Is there kind of like an illicit trade in sort of like our crabs molt, so like some cats will wear like sort of old malted crab shells as kind of rebellious streak as teenagers, like I want to be a crab.
I feel like what's emerging here is I think like there's a strong contingent of people that are all about the maintenance of like traditions in the Sandcat Kingdom, and they feel threatened by the presence of like these new things. So I think like I think there are probably like younger cats that just straight up wear chitinous malted crab stuff just to freak older cats out.
Exo crabs.
Some of the cats have like the top parts of cactuses cut off, and like they're wearing them around their head, like those like dogs with watermelons around their head. Watermelon helmets, So you've got like cactus helms and stuff like that.
Okay. Nice.
Wow, this is still the prelude, guys. We got.
I'm kind of wondering what happens on the crab salamander border. Like, there's something going on in terms of like a rivalry because of the moistness factor. But how does that play out?
Do we just kind of have like a sort of a cold war, kind of a moist war between us? Like,
we've been building a wall, maybe?
Yeah. Do we just have like a kind of a DMZ, a de-moist zone between us?
Moist.
All right.
I'm saying moist a lot.
We just like to pour water over ourselves in like full view of the other guy to like kind of like show our moistness.
To show moist dominance.
Yeah, you know how like North Korea has those fake towns across the border? It's kind of like that. Like we've got a water park across the border.
Here we go.
Like,
it's all just automated patrons that are programmed to look like they're having a great time.
Automated salamanders.
Oh, like Home Alone. It's like crabs operating them because we've got lots of claws, so we're kind of doing that. We're having the moistest time.
They're all doing the ice bucket challenge.
Okay.
The entire border between the salamanders and the crabs is like Bellagio fountains.
There's just so much water waste at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's weird how the sort of, obviously we should be friends. We're both water dwelling people, but like for some reason, like we should be closer. You know how like the closest of people end up being enemies. It's like, we were close. We were really close in the past. Maybe we'll uncover that later.
Maybe we see you're kind of like shaving. One of our guys like saw the whole shaving thing happen one time, and are just like, I'm not gonna say it on
stream. You don't like fur; it gets stuck in your tongue, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
So fur is maybe just
the closest that you've got with the cats is kind of freaking us out. So
could I add to something here? Maybe the sort of the cat shaving festival is just so huge because we're talking like millions of people being shaved. Do you know how like maybe like the Sahara desert sands come across to Europe? Maybe like hair comes across to your kingdom like now. You just don't like that. Sort of like just floating in the wind. What's it called?
And
like
then the salamanders get these sort of like Mo from the Three Stooges, kind of like little mop top haircuts of just like hair that's just blown over and it's like stuck to their like moist.
Our kids can't go outside. We hate it.
Yeah. So like once a year you have to stay inside because of cat hair. Right?
And we think it's deviant anyway.
Are there new like health conditions that are happening because like are there like allergies or like you know what I mean? Is it creating health problems for the
it mutated with the malaria, and that's just wreaking havoc. Yeah, in fact, the medicine that we make is starting to kind of lose efficacy. So that's causing us some anxiety. Essentially, our skepticism is turning into like some pretty hardcore anxiety in the swamp. John Stockton is having a hard time kind of keeping the peace.
So anxious, skeptic,
anxious, skeptical. Yeah, hairy
like
now.
People are so anxious that they're calling into work the work of moistening John Stockton.
Yeah.
Like there's this 20% rate of people not coming into work.
Regularly. A whole skeptic salamander union develops about people that don't want to pick up their brooms and moisten down John Stockton. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. But yeah, the water park here, that is the border between the culty leader crabs kingdom and the skeptical salamanders, helps to actually give moisture to the giant tree. And so I've drawn some sort of like estuaries and rivers down here. All right, and the last step of the prelude here is the mysterious object. So it was one day that we all know that there are many undiscovered things that exist in this world, yet we could not have anticipated the discovery of what and which of us discovered this thing, and what is it that we discovered. Let me think. If anyone has one, it's anyone's ball game here.
Okay.
So this is this sort of magical MacGuffin that we find.
What if it was a hairless cat?
Oh, maybe like a mummified.
Yeah.
Cat.
And they're like, the cat people are like, what? You know, like,
what if it was a hairless cat, but like it wasn't found like in the desert? Like I feel like since we're opposite of each other, Daniel, like diagonally opposite, like if it was in your kingdom, it'd be like the least expected place to find this mummified hairless cat.
Love it.
Sure. Yeah, it's like wandering the swamp, and we think it comes from you guys, so we like here you guys go, and you guys are like, well, that's
not us. Yeah. I think our greatest cat medical minds are like, this cat was born hairless.
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
It's up in the mango tree right now.
Is it?
I don't know. That last we saw.
Okay. Oh, I like it. Okay, so does somebody want to draw a hairless mummified sand cat up in the top of the mango tree? a sentence that I've never thought I'd ever say in my entire life, but check that off the bucket list. Somebody draw a hairless mummified sand cat at the top of a giant mango tree full of hipster mangoes. Yeah. Hashtag RPG out of context, right? Excuse me.
So what this item has scared everybody because it points to a history we don't know about. Perhaps is that why it's?
Maybe it scares people because the crabs are worried that they're going to be out of a job.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then they might be born hairless.
Yeah,
right.
No clothes for the giants. How can they stay in the mountains?
You're right. Yeah. So this pretends bad omens. Did somebody just like pitch this thing up into the top of the tree, or it was just discovered here? Time might tell.
I mean, it sort of confuses the whole issue of like, whose is the tree? If there's a mummified cat in it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think, and so many like of the like older traditional cats don't even think this tree is like a thing that should be considered or respected or yeah.
So like the rum tongue tugger.
That cat is so small. I love it. You'd have to like.
Oh my god! Look at that. Yeah, you drew a little mummified cat in the middle of the tree.
The good thing about playing this online is you can actually zoom in.
Wait, you can zoom in?
It's called Zoom. Literally, the software is called Zoom. If you couldn't zoom in on Zoom, that would be.
You're right. Oh, look at that! I've been playing it. This see, perfect. Very good. Okay. Well, that is the end of the prelude. And so, like, you know, our kingdoms were established in many years ago. We grew up. We developed trade and culture. We've interacted with each other. And then one day we found this strange mummified hairless sand cat in our most beloved of mango trees. and it is from here our story kind of begins. Who would like to be our player one here?
Jay, would you like to just explain from now sort of how the game progresses and how the ace system works, and then we'll...
Yeah, okay. So I've prepped a deck of cards in my hand here. I'm going to just draw a card, and it'll give me a prompt from the Four Kingdoms booklet, of which we then use that to kind of be the prompt that will lead us through the progressive narrative. Whoever's turn it is acts as sort of the head narrator, so they're sort of directing the story. They kind of call the shots, as it were, and the rest of us are, open to sort of throw in and RP off of each other. And then when an ace comes up, it's sort of an act break, and we'll just take it from there without having to explain much of it. We just jump right in, I think. I think we should start. Who was it that discovered the hairless cat? And that should be the starting player.
All right, that was us. Yeah, we're pretty happy about it.
Yeah, the salamanders. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna draw the first card, and at any time, if you don't like this prompt, you could choose one of the 3 cards that you have in your hand to say, no, I'm going to ignore that one. Okay. I'm going to choose one of these that I have in my hand. Okay, so the first card here is the 6 of Hearts. The 6 of Hearts is something new in the natural world is discovered.
And Jay, are we playing the longer version of the game with a full set of cards, or a slightly shorter version?
I've done it down to the shortest version. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm probably going to do some cheeky, live stream magic in the background as well, just to keep us under the 2-hour mark. So we went hog wild in the prelude, which is great, but that's the point. Like these type of games, you can pause at any time and come back to them on a later session, much like you do any other RPG game.
Okay, something natural has been discovered.
Yes.
How about there's like a stampede on the way? It's huge. It's like it's as far as the eye can see. They're terrifying. They're buffalo, but they run backwards. Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah. They're coming for the kingdoms. That's all we know.
All right. From which direction are they coming from?
Definitely from the west.
All right. Maybe draw a little, like an arrow to indicate where they might, where this horde of charging reverse buffalo are coming from.
Yeah, will do.
And then how do now this directly influences technocrebs and sandcats. How do you guys reacting to that?
Oh, wow.
I guess the buffalo mean that like there is potentially another source of fur.
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
that's huge.
Do they have kind of like a sable type fur? Is it kind of short and like, and maybe they're flealess. This could be huge.
Yeah.
No one dares get too close to check. They're stampeding my
incoming buffalo.
And the buffalo are like, they're just big. So it's like they have a lot more to offer.
Big buffaloes.
Big.
Buffaloes.
Real
big
lot of
buffaloes.
Big hole.
So one of our like crab tree sayers is like he's really shouting in the city streets right now that the mango tree is the incoming buffalo is one of the 4 signs of the mangoes are ripening. Yeah. He's been saying this for years, but this buffalo influx has definitely got him.
All right. Well, speaking of which, Stevie, you're the next player on the turn. Here is your next card. It is the 2 spreads.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to trump that one. I'm going to use my 5 that I was given before. I don't want a pandemic. So I'm going to use this 5, and a 5 is a celebration is held, and all I'm going to do with that is basically it's the biggest cat shaving festival for a generation. happening right
now.
now.
And this is where you can also hock this card onto the one that Dan had just drawn with the incoming buffalo. So it could be that it's the Buffalo Festival is also, it sparks. It's the thing that causes the start of the cat shorning festival or something.
I'm going to change that slightly. I'm going to say like we've seen them incoming, and like there's like a million cats and a million crabs at this festival. There's no way we can get out of the way of these incoming buffalo. We've got weeks maybe before they all arrive, and it's like this festival is right in the path of this. We're about to get mustafa'd by this buffalo.
Oh no!
Like by this buffalo thing.
So maybe draw where the festival the festival is happening.
Yeah, just keep in mind, because they're coming in backwards, they actually can't move that quickly. It's sort of the disadvantage to their whole strategy if they have one.
More easily shaveable, I would think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, and we've got time to set up.
You got time to set up.
This could be big. Okay, I'm gonna draw where the festival's happening, and we can move to the next person.
Is it because they move slowly? Does that mean that the techno crabs can just build some sort of shaving tunnel and then just slowly back into it? When they come out, they're hairless.
This is a blessing in disguise.
A series of corridors that funnel them into this tunnel. Yeah.
If we shave all of these buffalo, what's it going to do for the cat economy? Suddenly, like the crabs have got all this buffalo fur.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. My first instinct when I hear that is like, for this philosophical split that exists within the community of the Sandcats. For the younger ones, this is devastating. For the younger ones that are interested in cultures outside their own and find their own kind of stuffy. For the older ones, after that initial good riddance energy, they realize how much the economy has come to depend on outside interaction. They realize how their absolutist stance was not maybe like taking all things into account.
Ooh. All right. So moving on to John, your turn. So your card is the Jack of Diamonds.
Cool.
Which is checking the booklet here. Jack of Diamonds is a terrible or controversial new law is decreed.
Oh.
Who decrees it and what is the law? Or you can trump it with one of your 3 cards that you have.
Terrible new law is decreed.
Or controversial new law. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
From the head of the sand, from the what was the name of your character? Biscochito?
The Biscochito? Yeah. The Biscochito Council. All right. So okay. And I invite y'all to help me figure this out. I want to say in response to what's happening with the buffalo, with the influx of buffalo fur, the Biscochitos want to, because these furs are also going to the giants, right? But if the crabs are collecting this fur, they either have to go through the tree or through the Sandcats kingdom. So I want to say that Biscochito collectively comes up with this bullshit trade law.
Like a biff.
Yeah, that on its face isn't specifically saying anything about buffalo fur, but in practice makes it so that it's easier to just move cat fur than it is.
Oh man. And we're wearing all this itchy cat fur. We want some of this buffalo fur.
Yeah.
So you're kibosing the import exports of buffalo skins here.
I'm even gonna say in order to weirdly enforce this law, Biscochito like encourages the other Sandcat like groups to like build new like border stuff further into the center, like by the tree, like in areas where they weren't before.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Just
All right.
Yeah.
Draw it up.
Cool.
Those giants getting grumpier by the day.
Oh, this is yeah, and now they're the Sandcat people are really artificially bumping up the cost of buffalo furs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because you got to go through their markets now. It's like we can't go direct to the crab company anymore. Crab company. Awesome. All right. So while you're drawing that, I will move on to the next card, which is my turn, and it's the 4 of spades. Let's see how I react to that, or what may happen in the world that will cause me to react to that. A 5th kingdom is discovered. Beautiful. This is great. Okay. So I'll say that down here in the south, so because of this new kind of you corner the market on buffalo furs, and we're itching nonstop and having to, our finances are going just to clothing ourselves. It turns out that we send out some explorers towards the south, and in the south, what we find is a sort of in a distant area, which I could grab another piece of paper here, and if we were playing this on tabletop and just push it up alongside, there would be a 5th kingdom that we have discovered. Our sort of explorers have discovered that are a bunch of Bigfoots, big feet. Big feet.
You don't. Yeah, unless they only have 1 foot, Jay.
Yeah, they don't have 1 foot. So what does that make them?
Could this new kingdom be somehow connected to the mummified cat in some way? Maybe.
Well, perhaps so. They're actually so they're Bigfoots, but they're not bipedal. They're just a foot. Like it's just a big foot, literally like a big hairy foot that is like mummified. That is it's all hair, and they wear like gauze, right? Like a mummy might do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we see them and we're like, whoa, what are these strange creatures? And first of all, we don't like them because we're grumpy, obviously. But then we find out that they seem to be kind of docile. They just kind of like hop along, and then we could just shave off all their fur, and then we just stop. We just stop buying cat furs. And we don't even need the buffalo furs anymore. So you've made up this whole market, and it's just gonna we'll see what happens. But let me start drawing on this then. So we
this
just
is the second sign of the mango's ripening.
Yeah,
says the crazy crab preacher.
Yeah, we block all trade with the Sandcat people, and we begin harvesting Bigfoot hides.
You're killing the big feet, the Bigfoots.
Oh yeah, we're not. Yeah,
damn.
Yeah, we're hunting them. We're hunting them down.
All right. Wow.
You just invented a species and murdered them in like less than a minute and a half.
Immediately.
Right?
We're
You're like the humans in the movie Avatar.
We're grumpy. We're not like conservationists or something like that. Yeah. So
we're grumpy. You're not conservationists. You can be grumpy and still care about nature.
Yeah. So it's a giant kind of a wood just full of like kind of sentient feet that like hop along, and they're all hairy, and then we go along and we just like are hunting them into extinction and harvesting their hides, which are nice and warm, much warmer than any of that Sandcat.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you're willing to kind of go full on genocide with the Bigfoots, why didn't you do anything with what's you do? You left the cats alone. Is there some reason there?
Because they were buying our ice.
Gotcha.
We had a nice little trade.
We still need the ice.
Yeah.
They still need the ice.
We still need the ice.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. This is huge.
This is huge.
Dry cats. They might get mummified. Desiccated cats.
Which goes to the next card. Dan, that's yours. It's the Ace of Hearts.
Which does
let's
the
see.
break, right?
Oh no,
you win.
Eight of hearts. I'm sorry.
Oh, the 8 of hearts.
Yeah, the 8 of hearts, which is a new community is formed. Oh, there we go.
I'm going to use I'm gonna use one of my cards, which is the 9 of spade, and that says that a new a pantheon is formed.
Oh,
so what happens here, I think, is that the cat people, they look over at the big feet, and there's some sort of like messianic thing going on where they it's like even there's some sort of significance there for them where they see sort of a more beautiful hairy being that maybe should be revered.
Tobin?
Yeah, Tobin, and not killed in this way. And I think there's in many spiritual circles in the cat world, there's a little bit of a revulsion for what's going on, and they've sort of begin to deify. Maybe I'll throw this over to you, John. See maybe if this makes sense to what's. I'm not on the ground there in the desert.
Yeah,
but if this is the vibe.
There's not not a skeptical salamander reporter that's like kind of bringing back the news breaking.
We can't go.
I think one thing that we've already established with the sand cats is like they have this culture of like trying to be collective, but like there's all these like cultural splits among them. So I think absolutely that like there could definitely be a group of sand cats that see these feet and then they're like, this is a sign of something greater.
Yeah. So they're liberals.
Yeah, they go real hard.
Yeah,
they go real hard on these bunch of feet pics. They
start carrying signs with with feet on them. They're wearing like Lucky Rabbit's feet, but like Lucky Big Feet.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think maybe even like like the buffalo had fur and that was disruptive to what the cats did, and now these big feet also have fur. So maybe one of the arguments is like is almost nihilistic in that like nothing stays and nothing matters and something else comes. Why do we even care?
Everything changes, so what's the point in doing stuff?
Life mimic art here. Yeah,
I want to say that that's the vibe of these like zealously religious like into feet types.
So there's sort of a nihilistic cult then that kind of arises.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So maybe
John,
do you want to do that? Checks out. Yeah, that checks out. You guys want to draw like a little pantheon or a place of worship, perhaps?
Sure. I'll make a little cat church in the bottom here.
Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
Wouldn't they like not build a church because they're like, oh, nothing matters, so like even worshipping this is not even worth doing? So it's just a field.
Oh, it's like a field of like with some rocks strewn around or something like that. Yeah, in the shape of toe beans.
Still trying to make toe beans a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah, toe beans is
Google it.
And they smell like popcorn.
Toe beans is the thing. Man, John, I brought that up at a party a couple of weeks back, and nobody believed me that was real.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Cats and toe beans? That's the thing.
Yeah. It's amazing. They're the cutest thing in the world. All right, Steven, it's your turn. And there's our first ace, the ace of hearts.
Oh, okay. And we have to do the aces, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the ace of hearts?
So again, as rules as written, you go until the fourth ace. But it also says in the rule book that like at any point when you feel that you've reached the kind of climactic end to your story, you just end. You don't have to go through all of the cards. Okay. So yeah, the ace of hearts is now this is where crisis has emerged now. Indicating an element of the story that has triggered a crisis within the four kingdoms, create a major threat, and how it has come to be as a result of the suit. And the suit being hearts is to indicate something that out of love or something out of nature has caused a great crisis amongst all of our kingdoms.
So, okay, how about like let's, John, with your approval, I'm going to cause a kind of like almost like a schism in your society. So like all the cats and the crabs are at the festival, the Shame Festival, but the economy's kind of been ruined by the hair, the big feet, and the buffalo. There's so much fur. that like
it's like Woodstock 95 or something.
Yeah. So yeah, it went a bit crazy, but like obviously there's like a lot of bonds between the young crabs and the young cats.
Yeah.
And so the techno crabs are like, okay, we're gonna you can't live in the desert anymore without this ice. Don't worry, we've got all of this extra water that we use to kind of like, you know, like what is it? Like what's it, show off to the salamander people.
You mean all the runoff from the water park?
Well, how about some of you, if you want to, the water parks are open. It's all run by automation. If you run the water parks for us, you can live at the water parks.
Yeah.
So,
I think I'm open to that. Like a great migration of cats into the techno crab kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we also say that like
merging of two kingdoms?
Yeah, like can we also say that like it goes generations deep. So there are cats who were born in and raised in the crab kingdom. So like, you know, they look like cats, but culturally like they're crabs. They're techno crabs.
I love it. Yeah.
They got big fuck you energy for salamanders. Like
yeah. Like so with the big crisis, the sort of we can actually skip forward like 50 years.
Yeah, so now we progress the timeline any length of time, an hour, a day, a generation, whatever.
So like what? Cats live about 20 years. So we've skipped forward like 50 years. So it's like three generations of like
generations.
Of
there's like my grandpa actually moved here. Actually,
yeah. Right, we helped build this water park.
That's like a day for John Stockton, though. So it's at the end of the day.
No. You salamanders are lizards.
Does not understand what the big deal.
Yeah.
So this is a crisis. Remember, so maybe the crisis is for, it seems to be towards perhaps Dan, you and I, our kingdoms. In a way, like it's been this explosion of sand cats across the sort of the Western hemisphere here. So we're extending the timeline now about 50 years. Like we have to now, all of us, sort of like change the world and how that's happened. I think that maybe I've hunted these big feet down to that. There's only a few left. There's only, it's very hard to find them anymore. It's become like a luxury resource to find these big feet anymore. All of our since we're no longer kind of trading with the sand cats anymore, all of our clothes is starting to fall apart, and it's infighting within the grumpy giant kingdom. People keep saying, why don't you just go to the water park to the north? It's like, no, it sounds too fun. No, I'm not going there. We're grumpy. We don't go to water parks.
Is it then that like across these 50 years, like tensions have mounted between East and West, basically, like as the techno crabs and the cats like kind of like join and become more of a together thing.
Yeah.
Like, is it that like they collectively are like kind of growing to dislike the East in general? Especially since like they weren't getting any ice anymore, as much ice anymore from the grumpy giants anyway.
Yeah, you were not. You guys have all been going up and sort of like just like doing how cats do, licking the pond around the giant mango tree. The giant Grumpus lives forever, basically. So he watches this all, like 50 days is just an afternoon for him. They kind of like turtle. We just kind of like almost like disappear for tens of years. The giants just kind of like just fall back into their mountains, and they seem to like disappear into the deep mines of their hole. And they just seem to kind of go away. The roads that once led to trade routes to the cities start to kind of break down and become dilapidated and what have you. How about Dan?
I think the cat hair that came over the years actually started to dry out some of like the western part of the swampland. It's causing even more stress for Salamander and Co. We're putting up huge pretenses though. Like we're showering like twice as much next to on the border there. Like we clearly can't afford it. We're kind of coming up like shriveled. We're like pretending that it's nothing, but we're like looking at the water that falls at our feet. And the good news, though, is that our exportation of the mosquitoes has gone way down. The mosquitoes have died off. There just isn't really the water there to kind of, make it work for them.
Cat hair killed it.
Yeah, cat hair killed it. So, that's been good. But we're getting a little desperate. I'm not going to lie.
Now that cats are directly across, so the cat hair problem is it getting worse then? Because they're right.
It's building up, and I think like in the beginning we would just sort of like push the hair down into the mud, but then we started pushing it down into more cat hair, and like it built up, and we need something. So we're like eyeing. We want to keep the pretenses up, and we're looking up at those like wet avalanche laden mountains that is a laden with the potential for avalanches.
Avalanche potential.
And we're looking at it like we need some of that. So we're like, I think we're starting to look towards the Grumpy Giants as being maybe our ticket out.
This is not totally related, but I was just thinking about of the time skip, but I'm looking at this great Bigfoot temple that you drew here, Daniel. Thank you very much. Can we say, because it's generations later, there are some hyphenate sand cat technocrab cats that like their families they grew up as part of the Bigfoot worshipping the feet pics religion, but like they are techno crab enough to be okay with the building of a thing and staying there. So like on the border between like the salamanders and the techno crabs, like are some sand cat techno crab citizens that have built like basically like little churches with the goal of like being missionaries, basically.
Right.
Like,
the proselytizing to the salamanders.
Yes.
Yeah, we see them when we're showering. When we're showering off, we see like big,
and they're out there with like pamphlets, and they're like,
they're looking in, oh hey, we're showering over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to add sort of one more thing too, is like one of the reasons the cats in the south shaved is because it was so hot in the desert and they needed to. But these cats that live in the crab cats, they can keep their hair to some extent. So they have kind of fashionable hair. They maybe have like mohawks, or they have like dreadlocks or whatever. They could do stuff with their hair now. So like there's the northern cats, the crab still shaved them, but there's kind of like a thriving business in crab stylists.
Crab stylists.
Yeah. Like
all these little boutiques started kind of going.
Because the cats want to preen and like look cool and stuff. So so that's a sort of a generational divide, but also like a north-south divide. You can tell a northern cat now because they have like wild hairstyles.
I like that.
And they're a bit more puritanical, a bit more like just shaved down in the south.
Yeah, that makes the southern cats look kind of hard ass,
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna shave the middle beak and do a reverse mohawk kind of thing.
I'm gonna give this cat, I don't know I'm gonna give him like just Korean bangs, like there we go.
Between the cats that live in the north and the cats that live in the south, is there even becoming like a language schism? Like is there like a breakdown in communication?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So we don't call them. They don't call themselves sand cats anymore. They call them. They spell their name with a hard K now because it's crab and cat together. So
that's making the old cats mad.
Yeah.
KHA.
Yeah. Cabs. They call themselves the cabs in the north now.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's this softening of the T sound in general when they speak, and it sounds like a B.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
This part of
and cat,
northern
and cat,
cat.
yeah.
Oh god.
Like a great vowel shift is happening here.
Yeah. So how do we pronounce it there, John? We say cab instead. Cab.
Cab. Yeah.
Cab. Yeah.
Cab.
Okay. No. Okay. We're cabs.
It's like that. Like it's like that drug that's used in some places, right? That they rub on their gums. Anyway. Yeah. So so that moves on. Whose turn was that last?
That was mine.
That was your turn. Okay. So that's John. This is the start of a new era now. The 10 of diamonds. Which is boom or bust. Is it a golden age or a dark age? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Dang. I mean, I want to say, all right. I want to share my thought process with you. If you guys want to jump in, please do. I feel like argument for golden age is like the at least in the West, this blending of cultures into new stuff, and the argument for a dark age is the tensions mounting between East and West.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel that the cats that went north, that might have been cool in the beginning, but after a while, they're not integrating too well into like the crab society, and there could be all kinds of rifts opening up there as well.
Yeah, we haven't really explored sort of how the cult of the techno crabs has kind of reacted to cats being there. Right. So maybe there's something there. Maybe
that's true. There's just like there's crabs that have like laser pointer stuff and
yeah, it's like all their sons and daughters are becoming cat stylists.
They get like little tattoos of like a cat with like a circle and a cross through it. No,
there's older crabs that are like, back in my day was engineering and coding, and now all my kids want to style cat hair.
Yeah, exactly. We can't even go scoff at the salamanders at the water park. They've all fled south to the mountains. Amazing. All right, that's over to me then. So Jack of clubs. Let's see. Clubs are in conflict necessarily. Okay. The mysterious object reveals a new devastating power. Okay, and we've established that the mysterious object is the help me with this, guys.
Cat.
The mummified hairless cat that's in the giant mango tree and
perched up there. Yeah.
Okay. And so it has developed a new devastating power. Yeah. Okay. So as I sort of hunted the Bigfoots into almost extinction, this giant cat was like their godhead. And by doing that, this godhead became more angry and more angry and more angry. And it doesn't have the wherewithal to know that it was the giant grumpy cat giants. I was about to say grumpy cats. that may happen. But it just blames what it sees around it, and that is a series of cult crabs. Shaved cats, not shaved cats, water park, all this decadence just all around it. And so knowing that people have been sort of almost eradicated, it's the bad energy from this totem god in the mango tree begins to rot all the mangoes that had been for all this time a source of sustenance, and they all just start to kind of like just rot away and turn black. And drop from the tree.
Oh
man. I think also when that happens, like that's when the finger pointing starts, right?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
like, and the buffalo, they were at the tree, I'm imagining by now. They've all had their little buffalo kids.
Yeah.
They were waiting
buffalo gals. What's coming out tonight?
They were waiting for the mangoes, and now these mangoes are dying. So now we've got like hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe even of these buffalo. All freshly shaved.
All the poor guys with their signs
dying off.
So this is just all of the rotten once fresh, delicious, life-giving mango. They're just dropping all over the place, and they're falling into the rivers, and they're just rotting in the runoff from the water park in the north and all that kind of stuff. So that is the new power that has developed. It just seems this dark energy is just coming from the tree now.
Is it tainting the water then?
It's definitely. It's tainting the water, and the tree itself is starting to lose colorization, stuff like that, and it's just becoming dark. That is me. Over to Dan. 10 of clubs. A major conflict affects everyone.
All right, this world is going to hell in a handbag.
It was so good for a little while there for the cats.
A major conflict. Yeah, I mean it's rough out there. I think what happens probably is that we all look at the buffalo and are like, we can put 2 and 2 together. We had a mango tree doing its thing. If you guys show up, we like, the hair was great and all, but you guys got to go. And so we basically unite we have like it's called the meeting of the 4. We ran out of kind of creative ideas for what to name the meeting that we had. And then we decided we gotta get the buffalo going back the way they came, no matter what it takes. So that's what we did, to disastrous effect, because they didn't want to go. And so that's the conflict that just took over everything. Meanwhile, the mummified cat is just still doing its thing. So
the mummy's curse. Curse.
So is it the salamanders who are like, buffalo, you got to get out of here? In my head, we sort of like united, or had like it was not like united exactly. It was sort of a tense meeting. Think like Stalin and Churchill and Roosevelt getting together kind of thing to decide what to do about the buffalo. And but we decided to shove them off. So we sort of like the salamanders sent a contingent to the tree we're starting to dry up, and we've got like some like wet towels on our backs. Did you get involved in this? Because I know I'm speaking for Steven in this case, but I kind of really do like the idea of like a tense meeting between salamanders and the techno crabs, like agreeing on something for once.
Okay.
It's like the Malta conference or whatever it was, right?
Yes, it's been a long time, John Stockton. You look moist.
I'm just
not as moist as I, but very moist.
It's a lot of stupid little one-upping. Not as moist as me, but you look very moist.
Yeah. Put your hand down. I can't. I'm a crab.
We don't evaporate moisture, as you know, so we don't need the attendance that you have, and that's why I come to you in your kingdom. I can travel much.
I make some jabs about the fact that all your kids have these new hairstyles.
Oh,
yeah.
We are happy to have cat friends in our kingdom. You seem to be mildly friendless, I might say.
It's rather dry over here. Yeah.
Anyway, this buffalo problem. What do you wish to do about it, John?
I think
Stockwell, not the real John.
I was like, thanks for inviting me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, one of the cat people is with us. One of the northern cat people, the southern cat people.
Is it at the point where like there's some like northern cat people in techno crab government now? Like there are some.
Hey,
sure. Let's. So you were the first and only elected, because you had to have made something technological though to have been elected. We didn't think you could do it because your toe beans get in the way of using tools. But we didn't think you could do it, but you really impressed us because you You made
a
way.
giant, like a particle accelerator. That's like one of those things that can't, like the ball that they push around inside the like little circle tube.
Yes.
But it's like a heart and a hadron like collider. Or whatever.
the biggest challenge of this scientist designing the particle accelerator was that it kept chasing the particle.
Yeah.
Cats can't build particle accelerators. That's the problem.
Particle accelerator. Okay.
Yeah, and sort of. So you kind of came in. You also, because of your knowledge of like cat physiology, you could make mechanical tails for the crabs. So we've got better. We can climb trees much better than we used to. Nice. Because of our tails. We can jump much better than we used to. So we've got some of these crabs have mechanical tails, and that's why you're elected, and that's why you're here at this council with John Stockton.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry, John Stockton's is my appeal essentially, or his appeal is essentially it's like the great push backward, and we're just gonna line up and just start pushing because we don't think too deep in the fetid swamp that we live, but that's the basic plan, to start pushing them back. We just rub up against, just get our weight behind them, and we think that if the four kingdoms unite, we might be able to push the.
Do you push a buffalo from the face?
Yeah, face, or which way
you grab it, you just lay on their head.
Yeah. I think that is the move. You push them in the face. Yeah, we didn't say it, but they have like really wide faces.
Really wide faces, yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of real estate for pushing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being pushed in the face?
Yeah, really wide heads, but small faces.
Yeah. It's like so much forehead.
So much forehead.
Yeah.
Car bumper forehead.
Like those, like whatever, like Mr. Happy and Mrs. Sad, or like those old the comic book where it's just like a giant square with like a little hat on it,
Yeah.
See, you're going to need help with this pushing because you can't come that far into the desert, John Stockton, because it's just not moist enough for you.
Oh, I basically can't even assist. I kind of think that I'm like an idea guy. That's sort of
that's like an idea guy.
Yeah, I'm an idea guy. Things are clearly not going well, but I've thousands of years of hubris just stored up.
You guys look over around the council while this council is happening, and across you have all the big high back chairs. One southern cat is sort of grooming itself in the corner, and then there's just like a chair with like a little reserved plate for like the grumpy giants, and just like an empty chair. We didn't show up. We didn't even show up.
Oh god.
Okay, so
we couldn't be bothered to like make the journey. It's only a 2-hour drive. Yeah, too far. It's too far away.
Could it be that then somebody like a person or a contingent gets sent to the grumpy giants because like it's almost like the missing piece is like just the brute strength.
Yeah.
Like even if collectively we engineered a thing,
outgoing
a massive device that could push in mass, like it would also at least need to be wielded by it would help if it was wielded by a giant person.
A giant.
Yeah, we've got the
like John Stockton's big enough, but he's mostly an ideas guy.
Yeah. I don't move too well.
It's funny if you say you're an ideas guy, people start calling you an ideas guy immediately.
You're an idea. Like John Stockton could do it. He's big enough. He's strong enough. He's like, no, I just come up with the ideas. I don't do any of this shit.
I like that idea. So I think we would all go to we see that they're not there, but we're sort of like almost like you're gonna get involved or else sort of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let's. I think that's a good place to like move on to the next event, and then we'll see. Like, while you guys have a council heading towards the Giants realm. All right, and Steve, it's your card. It's the 9 of Hearts.
What's that?
The 9 of Hearts is nine. A new form of nature begins to emerge. Potentially, yeah. So new forms of nature begin to emerge around the Four Kingdom.
Okay, so let's just keep stock. So the grumpy giants have run out of fur,
or you can trumpet, of course. Yeah.
So grumpy giants have run out of fur. They're all freezing in their mountains. John Stockton's running out of water because the buffalo are taking it because the tree is dying, and the crabs and the cats have all intermingled, and now there's this big outflowing buffalo kind of stampede leaving the kingdom with everyone's help. But we need the giant's help. Okay. Let's keep it. Let's make it a little darker. I'm going to trump that one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go a bit darker. So I'm going to use my 8 of clubs, which says someone is kidnapped. And what's happened is because the grumpy giants have ran out of fur. They've started to kidnap some of the cats. They raided one of these temples on their border.
Yeah.
They were worshipping the Bigfoot because they couldn't find Bigfoot to harvest anymore.
Yeah, so now we're just taking them and bringing them in.
Yeah. They've Roanoke settlements in a couple of these. They don't know it was the giants, except for like maybe footprints leading. Maybe that's too big a detective clue. But
who, you don't know if are they just like are they some of the few remaining Bigfoots that are hopping around, or are they actually giants' feet?
Yeah, so like
just big feet.
So cats have started disappearing from the border of the giants and cats kingdom. If that's okay, that doesn't really affect my kingdom, but I'm just going to add to that drama. And that's there's real tension now, and that's me, I guess. I'll stay there. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna draw some
draw in your kingdom a little bit, John.
Yeah. So should I guess.
I think just a big question mark.
Yeah. I guess I draw a big question mark. And then like a cat that's made of a dotted line, right? That's probably.
Oh, that's it. Can you do the cat made of a dotted line?
Yeah.
And John, it is your turn, which is the next ace, the next act break.
Oh,
huge moment. Let's see. Escalation. When you draw the second act, you narrate how the crisis, as determined by the first age, which was the kind of nature, the crisis of nature, has gotten worse as a result of the second age, which is struggle and conflict.
Okay. So the crisis of nature was the crisis of nature the tree, like kind of rotting and coming apart?
It was Steve's event. What was his thing? I think it led to the tree rotting apart. Yeah. And due to the giant mummified cat in the center expending out negative energy, and that created that. Yeah. And then thus the council was formed, and you guys are on your sort of Fellowship of the Ring, heading towards Rivendell here or whatever.
I also want to clarify that like we all got on board with John Stockton's idea of like, oh yeah, these buffalo are the problem, but we're wrong, right?
Yes.
Like the buffalo are.
I'm an ideas guy. Come on.
The buffalo are not the problem. It's the fact that I've killed all the big feet is the problem.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. But we were all like, yeah, that's why. Like we're just so we're like,
that's John Stein. You are. That is a good idea.
Yeah. No, I get it.
We formed a mob very quickly. That's what happened.
Yeah. So things have gotten much worse.
Hey, all right. So sorry, run the card by me again. I'm just taking in all the pieces. It's an escalation.
It's an escalation of how the crisis, as determined by the first card, which was a crisis in nature, has now gotten worse as a result of struggle and conflict.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna say like, maybe we do like bring the giants, even if reluctantly, like on board. We're able to bring the giants on board, and we're able to push collectively, all of us are able to push the buffalo out, and then we go, we did it, but obviously we didn't do shit. The tree, the mummy is still in the tree, the mummy is still exacerbating the bad things that are happening in the tree, and I think since we didn't deal with what's really happening, the tree gets worse, things exacerbate, the water gets worse. Like I'm gonna say especially the quality of water around John Stockton gets worse. The water, like the water in the Crab Kingdom gets worse. The water parks aren't working right. I want to say like there's like rotted mango flesh like that gets caught in like spouts and stuff. So like nothing.
Sorry, I just have an idea about that. Sorry, the mango fest starts to ferment and actually turn alcoholic. And it's soaking in through like the salamander's skin as it comes into our swamp. So we are just pretty much fucked up.
Now he's a real ideas man.
Yeah.
He's like, let me tell you another thing.
Here's another thing. And then also like I'm gonna say the introduction of that alcohol, it like maybe it becomes like an illicit trade that happens like around all the kingdoms. And for some people, I'm gonna say, especially like for some, at least just speaking for Sandcats, at least some communities within the Sandcat Kingdom, some diminished communities, right? Because people are like, especially like moving north and stuff, like they just really get into some fermented mango alcohol and like and whatever societal problems already exist, like get exacerbated. Like, and also like where before people used to give fucks about doing something for this tree, there's growing contingents of people that are like, maybe you can't do anything. Maybe just crack one open and have a good time while we can.
Those nihilistic cats again.
For cats.
The nihilistic like feet pick cats get like, I'm gonna say there's a schism in the religion. There's like a super nihilistic one that's like, fucking get drunk, bro. We don't got much time left.
Well, so I'm just gonna add that like this like sort of influence of alcohol, like obviously crabs love water, so like just even just like even if they're not drinking, they're just a little bit like, you know, got a buzz on, like they've had like one afternoon beer, that's it, because it's just in the water. There's so much mango in the water, so much mango alcohol. And this caused the first ever known machine explosion in the technocrat, because before that we're like really precise. Have you ever seen a crab move? They don't make any kind of move unless they want to, right? You know, so like we've never had a mechanical fader in our kingdom ever to this point. That's why we worship technology. But first explosion happens, we are losing it. Like we've never had a piece of technology do something bad before. So like, and so that's gonna come back.
So I've drawn the tree just toppled over here now. The whole tree has just fallen over.
I think the thing about this tree toppling over now too is that like now that mummified cat is accessible.
Yes,
like it's on the ground.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of a giant pool of alcoholic mango. Moonshine. And to just escalate this one tick further, like we've just been kind of like, oh, just leave us alone. Like the grumpy giants were just like kind of like we caked ourselves into the mountains. We kind of closed ourselves off. You came in like, come on, we got this buffalo problem. Let's deal with this. And you came knocking on our doors and, you know, harassing us for months. And we finally said yes. And we pushed them away. And now that we're out, we're like, all right, this is ours now. So we're just like, there's giants that are like border security has become a bit of a mess. There's no clear sort of like grumpy giants like, okay, we're here now. We're here. This is my house. And the giants are just going through and like opening up the roofs of like Sandcat houses and then just like sitting in them and like, yeah, this is my house now. And we're because mostly because they're too lazy to walk all the way back home to where the mountains are. We're just like, well, you got us here. Well, no, this is it. So there are sort of a squatter grumpy giants all over the four kingdoms now,
draw
left over from the days.
Kind of a house with a broken roof and just a giant sticking out of it.
Yes. Let's see. So how far are we going to progress the timeline here?
6. I know. Feels like it feels like a 6 months later kind of deal. No, maybe a year.
Yeah, I'm into 6 months to a year. Like not crazy far, but like long enough that like it got bad.
It got bad. Yeah.
I feel like it's like people look around and like, wow, it got bad quick.
Yeah.
My like crab kind of guy who was always going, the mangoes are going to ripen. Like he's just full on a street drunk now, coming up with just sort of insane theories constantly.
He gets beat up all the time because people are just so done with him.
Yeah. Oh my word.
Drunken giants are just wandering all about, and listless drunken giants. And you know what? We can blame John.
I mean, seriously, the amount of damage that alcohol has done to the Four Kingdoms is ridiculous.
The era of exacerbation went way off the charts.
Oh, I thought you were being very meta, talking about the creation of the RPG game that we're playing right now. All right. That goes over to my turn now. The start of our final era here. Is a 2 of spades is the next card. Let's see what happened next. The 2 of spades. A new invention is created. Well, so
cocktail.
Yes, exactly. despite the grumpy giants being kind of like leave us alone, man, we're a bit insular and whatnot. Now that we're all sort of like wandering about listless and stuff like that, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention in a way, right? So we all started getting drunk on this mango moonshine here, and then one of these wandering giants just has the idea. It's like, what if I like use this old busted up kind of shaver and repurpose it as like a distillery, and he's gonna start like kind of like making like single malt mango a scotch, and I mean this is only going to make matters worse, but at least one of these guys, so he's going to turn this shaver into a new kind of enriched a mango booze factory, and the start becoming the only worthwhile giant out of the grumpy giant community.
I want to yes and the idea that it will definitely make things worse. Can I say how do you feel about this? I think also maybe because before it was just like booze that happened, right? Like it got taken like from around the tree. It was collected in like these like naturally occurring pools. But now that there's someone distilling it and making it like taste like stuff and treating it like the way you would treat like fine food and drink and stuff, like there develops like a group of people who are like, oh, like I drink because I enjoy it, and then in a roundabout way, some people learn about like what's the word I'm looking for, knowing when to like stop
self-control.
Some people learn about like self-control in a roundabout way because of like a love of fancy booze.
There's also like, just through distilling alcohol, we've now got like yeast spreads and like new products, ethanol, kind of things like that. So like we've got all these kind of like these byproducts as well. Maybe the crabs can put these to good use. The other thing we've got to mention too is this alcohol. Alcohol is what's the word for it? It dehydrates you. This is not good for the salamanders.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's
not been good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's John Stockton looking?
So one of the things that you're right there, but it also like we had a lot of liquid courage, and we actually started like getting up that mountain a bit. So it's been sort of a it actually probably like net break even, because we started kind of getting up in those glaciers, really cold. We don't move very fast.
Don't you dare.
We're cold-blooded. But we can see the grumpy giants. And the grumpy giants, there aren't very many left in the mountains once they found out about what's going on down there, as you can see.
Are the drunk giants now the surly giants now that they're drunks as well? Like they were grumpy, but now
they're
drunk, they're surly.
Yes.
These also earlier the kidnapped cats, they were being taken to the giants' mountains, right?
Yes.
So since now giants are spread across everywhere, all 4 kingdoms, does that mean that like there was space enough for some of those cats to be like, well, I live here now?
Yeah, mountain cats, you're a lynx.
Yeah. There's now, in addition to the northern techno cats, there's also eastern mountain cats.
Yes.
There by force.
Yeah.
Well, this gets to Dan. Your turn here. The guy, the CEO who created the distilled mango single malt is Sir Lee Grumpus, by the way.
I love it.
So yours is an 8 of spades, which is an unknown figure appears. It's John Stockton. He's a totally new person because he's.
I'm gonna trump that one with my heart, the King of Hearts, which says that a romance begins.
Nice.
Yeah. What happens actually is, and this is probably again aided by some of that liquid courage.
Oh no, I'm gonna regret the day after.
But it's actually Grumpus. I mean, Grumpus is he's out there doing his thing under the tree, and he sees the culty. Who's the culty leader crab? What's his name?
I just said culty leader crab. We're gonna call him Charles.
Yeah,
Charles. and Grumpus is just enamored. Maybe it's the long
blue tail, the cat tail. He's got a cat tail.
Shoot!
It's a crab with a cat tail.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to like?
What's not to like?
Yeah, and what I hear is that a romance starts. I don't know what you guys know about this.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm into it.
But again, the world is still in a heightened state of absolute depravity right now. But despite all of that, Charles and Sir Lee managed to just find this small little corner of this ever collapsing world around them, and they go on a few dates. Yeah. In the shadow of where the old Shave Festival once took place.
Oh, is it like parts of where the Shave Festival used to be around the distillery? Like there, there's this nice fancy distillery, and it's all like ghost towny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Just being,
you can tell wow, people used to have a good time around here.
But not anymore.
Trampled by the outgoing buffalo, as well.
Yes, exactly.
So,
it's all muddy and
there's a buffalo digging through a tent still that hasn't quite left, and he's just
all the sides of the houses still have all these beautiful colorful murals that are all faded away.
Yeah.
That have little sand cats with flowers in their hair and everything like that. But it's all just with graffitied over, you know what I mean? The end is nigh.
Yeah, it's fire festival kind of vibe kind of thing going on.
Yeah. Amazing. Which goes to Steve, 2 of diamonds.
2 of diamonds, what's that?
2 of diamonds is trade with a new land begin. New trade.
Oh, so that's the distillery starts making different types of alcohol. We start like experimenting with brewing techniques with the Coldy crabs. There's a bunch more explosions because drunk crabs and alcohol don't mix. But eventually we've got a whole range of different sparkling products, low alcohol, high alcohol, and there's cats, crabs, salamanders, and giants all working in this factory now.
Yeah.
This is we're all brewing.
What if the salamanders become a huge market for non-alcoholic brews, where basically we're just pouring that on ourselves? It smells terrible, but it does the job of hydrating us.
Yeah. But also as well. Sorry, you said it was a new thing is discovered.
New trade.
a new trade is discovered.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, just a little bit of a worry is that the mango's already running out, guys. There's no mango tree.
Yeah.
So this boom has an end if we don't find something soon. So yeah,
it's a boom for Sir Lee and nobody else. Everyone else is just like, it's a definite opioid crisis that's happening.
We're about to have the biggest hangover with no hair of the dog available quite soon.
That's right. Hair of the sand cat.
Hair of the sand.
Available because it's all up in the Northeast, under the mud of the skeptic Salamander Empire. Which goes to John's turn. And there's only a few cards left here. I think the last ace may come up in the next 2 or 3 turns. I think this is the 3 of clubs, which is a particularly bad one. If I remember correctly, a new weapon is created and used.
Oh God. All right. I want to address this mummified cat. So I think I think the thing that gets found is the mummified cat. The tree's no longer there. I would suppose maybe it's like I don't know what kingdom they'd be from, so maybe y'all can help me. Maybe it's a disgruntled I feel like please Daniel chime in if I'm getting this wrong. It feels like in the Kingdom of Salamanders, like everyone is just in service of John Stockton.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah,
making sure he's okay. I almost want to say like there's like a particularly bright salamander that feels like, man, there's more than this. Like also like I know shit. Like he's looking across the border.
I have ideas too.
Yeah. And he's like they use their ideas and they make stuff. And like so he has like academic interests. He's interested in the world. So I want to say a disgruntled, very smart, but maybe not
by
wise.
Salamander standards. So he's actually an idiot, but
pretty smart for a salamander. Yeah. So I guess I'm gonna say pretty smart for a salamander, but also like has a techno crab friend that like that pities him a little bit, so works with him to help him out. Like definitely a case of like smart but not wise. Like comes across this mummified cat corpse and is like, like maybe even this crab says like, I was there for the buttfalo thing. It wasn't the buttfalo. It was it was this.
He opens up the mummified cat and it's got like a Rockets jersey on.
Yeah. Ew, fuck this guy. Yeah. No.
Is that canon?
Yeah, so like so they work together and maybe it starts as kind of an intellectual curiosity, but it's like it's poisoned by this resentment for what the cat did to the tree. And then through that they end up like creating something of destructive power, a thing that rots, that leaches essence out of things so that it collapses in on itself like the tree did. And maybe if this salamander has fuck you energy like at where he's from, he points it at like
turns it around on John Stockton.
Yeah, or yeah. I don't think like I don't want John Stockton to die. Sure, I don't want that. But I do think like I'm just thinking like if that's where he's coming from and he's mad about it and they know that like it wasn't the buttfalo, like they turn it around on the kingdom of and in the process they don't kill John Stockton. I think in real life a person like John Stockton is always fine.
And any similarities to real people is merely coincidental.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think like maybe he does turn it around on the Salamander Kingdom, and that is sort of a wake up call for John Stockton the ideas guy that maybe people are starting to see through. You know, the fact that he lives in it's just yes men all around him, right? Like,
yeah.
For thousands of years of only yes. That's what this guy's like. So imagine how insufferable this guy is. And then this weapon trained on him, and it slightly goes off. The mummified cat gets yeeted into like the next four kingdoms. But John Stockton, you know, it's a wake up call for him. And now he's terrified. He's paranoid.
I like that.
Well, in fact, this next card, Dan, take it away, is the final ace here. And it's the ace of spades. So it's resolution, potential revolution. This card determines the final potential way out of the crisis and escalation caused by the first two cards. The potential way out is via a law, via riches, finance, or power. What is it that may be our way out of this situation, and does it work?
Oh gosh, well, I don't know if it works, but I think that due to kind of the rising paranoia that John Stockton's got, he's got this need to dominate now, and he's just kind of like, he starts rolling out of the swamp without really even thinking. It's kind of weird for someone who's been around so long, but he just runs into like runs out towards where like the tree is and just starts to like take over everything. He's getting megalomania basically seeps in. He doesn't trust anyone. And he's there to kind of just bring order to the land. I don't know how this plays out exactly, but
so we can determine collectively it's successful or not. Or one of the ways to determine an end is to take the two jokers, one of which is like a colored joker, the other one is just black and white. And you can sort of shuffle the two and choose which one you want to be successful, and then I'll choose which hand I like. So let's say if I get the black and white joker, then this is John Stockton's plan is a success.
Okay.
And the other one, it's a failure. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So which card would you prefer? Right or left? Left.
You're right.
So this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
success!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would imagine if a figure like John Stockton, who is this like, who has been constant over so many years, like if he changes his mind, I imagine that'd be pretty inspiring to a lot of people.
Right. So, as part of the epilogue, we now each of us go around and make a few final statements about your kingdoms and what has happened as a result of John Stockton's final great idea. Maybe Dan, we can start with you, as it's John who is making an end to this conflict.
Sure. So, in the Salamander Kingdom, I mean, it looks good on the surface, but at the end of the day, it's pretty bad, because the salamander, like the little salamanders who were just like his like yes man, they're sort of freaked out by what happens. They see him just go raring off, and they more or less give up on life. They actually join the same nihilistic Bigfoot church that some of those cat people are in, and they just sort of, there's a lot of problems there. I mean, John Stockton, he's all right, but he's never the same again. He doesn't trust anyone. You know, he's able to kind of strong salamander his way into keeping peace.
Box him out of the key.
Yeah. But so it's, at the end of the day, I think for the Salamander Kingdom, it's actually it's not great, but
also like your kingdom has basically moved into the center of the world as well now, Dan, right? So like
that is true, yeah.
You know, like, so like there's these vast empty swamps now. Okay.
Yeah, we're just miserable salamanders who don't have a purpose anymore live.
Like bullfrog. And John Stockton just goes to the center where the tree used to be, and it's all just rotting wood, and he just curls up around it and just lays there, proud of his last greatest idea. How about the culty crabs, or whoever wants to go next?
So like, I think that the culty crabs don't really end in a much different place to where they began, except obviously like the sort of the integration with the cat people, like becoming a sort of multicultural society, not so focused on technology, and like, you know, working together with the distilleries of all of the different people. So they like start building these factories. But one, if I can add a little thing, is like eventually through complete like serendipity, we work out that how the mango seeds actually become ready to grow is they have to go through the sort of digestive system of a cat. So like some like kind of rubbishly made stuff has some mango seeds in it. A cat drank it and then shat it out, and then mangoes started growing there. And it's like we kind of like figured out that like maybe the mummified cat was something to do with that, some kind of lost knowledge. And so we're able to now like plant mango trees, and we start with the permission of the salamanders planting mango groves in the sort of now empty swamps.
Oh, that's huge.
You know, and like so now we've got food for the buffalo, we've got mangoes to build alcohol, you know, and we've got this whole kind of integrated world economy now based around alcohol. Hey,
yeah. I think there's just this giant mango smelling swamp full of sleeping salamanders, kind of like
despondent salamanders.
Salamanders and crabs who are going in kind of planting mango seeds in them, and just these kind of like listless giants just wandering through in this like vast gray kind of brackish wasteland. Sir Lee and the slight burgeoning romance with Culty kind of fizzles away as like the funds of as the alcohol runs out, and he just kind of turtles away in his small empty.
It was never gonna work out. It was a giant and a crab. I mean, it was always going to be a summer boyfriend sort of situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the giants without a kingdom just become like these like wandering Ronin, you know, all nursing a very bad mango distilled hangover.
I like this because there's almost no borders between any of our kingdoms anymore.
No, there aren't. Yeah, I like that too.
So John, bring us on home.
Yeah, I like that the techno crabs figure this out, and they are dedicated to like the regrowing of like mango groves. I think also how that changes like the Sandcat kingdom is that like, you know, to bring it back to what we said at the beginning of the game, that the cats are kind of split philosophically on what that tree means. That some of the cats originally were saying like that tree represents that we don't have to live this way, like the way it's like super arid here. So like I think what happens is when the crabs figure out how to like use the cat's digestive process to plant more trees, they start finding ways to change the ecosystem of like the sand cats, like grow trees there. It's not, you know, like it's not as desolate and arid as it was before. Like there's a huge change for those cats. And also I think like a knowledge of how like it was the cat mummy that brought us here makes some of the cats like quite interested in like their own history. I think maybe the cats were very focused on like surviving and living for like right now, but it means that like there's a lot of minds, not just cats, but like a lot of people who are maybe also like studying this mummy, seeing what it means.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, so there's one guy in a hat and whip saying it belongs in a museum. and also those two guys, the salamander and the crab that turned it into a weapon, they definitely went to jail for a really long time.
A few spirited away cats that got brought into the giant mountain just come like walking out like confused, like what the hell happened? Like, and I think with that the curtain maybe goes down. Yes, yeah. 4 Kingdoms, everybody.
Nice.
And scene.
That was good. That's good.
Very fun.
We'll stop streaming in a second, but I'll just say a quick thanks to Dan. Check out Trust Nobody on Steam. There's some like super exciting updates coming for that game next week as well.
Nice.
So anything you want to say there, Dan?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. Just looking at the map now, it's so cool, like seeing how we went from nothing to this absolutely batshit insane mural that we now get to hang up on our wall or something. It's really cool. A lot of fun.
This is kind of a tame one, actually. Like Because when you play it face to face, like obviously you can like move things around, rip up the paper, add new sheets of paper. It kind of gets crazy, right? Yeah, and then if you happen to ever be in Tokyo, if anyone is watching this, you should definitely go to the Tokyo Comedy Bar and see John perform, and definitely go to the show. John, do you want to take it away?
Oh yeah. If anybody's watching and is in Tokyo right now, we have a comedy show tonight. I'll be emceeing, and then we'll have an open mic after. We have shows every weekend. We do Nihongo nights too. So we have shows that we do in Japanese.
Yeah, you guys are really kicking off right now. So
yeah, we do other show formats. We have like the Roles for Initiative show, which is the D&D show that we do. We do an improv show. We have a show called Oh No, which is like improvised stand-up, which is a lot of fun. Sumo Slam, which is like Mock the Week. We do a Mock the Week style show, like doing topical news stuff. It's a good time. There's always something happening. We're very easy to find online. We're on all the socials as Tokyo Comedy Bar. And of course our website, tokyocomedybar.com.
Nice. Thanks, John. Thanks, Dan. And Jay, do you want to plug this game one more time?
Yeah, and last for those that are watching, last thing is Four Kingdoms is on Kickstarter now and will be for the next 18 days, I believe. Thanks to all the supporters up to this point. Very fun, and hope to play with you guys again.
Cheers. All right, guys. Bye.